In a city where stories rise like beacons in the dark, two creators stand for truth, imagination, and good storytelling. Welcome to Greenlight This, where we reimagine DC legends, resurrect lost heroes, and shine the bat signal on the movies that deserve to be made. My name is Landon Davis, but you can call me Squiddy, and I'm here with the Blue Beetle to my Booster Gold, Travis Mador.
Woo! Hey everyone, hope you're doing well.
Yes, thank you so much for coming along with us on this saga of an alternate universe where a Burton-Verse would get to be. Thank you guys so much for listening. I think for the most part, we're going to have a lot of final thoughts at the end of this podcast. So we can go ahead and get started.
Yeah, so Greenlighters, grab your big belly burger. It's time to greenlight something new.
All right, hit the light. Roll camera. Wait. Hold on. Where's the script?
All right, Travis, I'm excited to jump into the next film. Do you want to tell us this one?
Yes, so the title, Green Lantern, John Stewart, Brightest Day. This would be around 2003, potentially when this would be coming out.
Yeah, a little bit of a break with, again, 9/11, movies getting pushed back. Yep. So what is our summary?
Yes, so John Stewart, former Marine, seeks to re-enlist, but due to injuries from his last deployment, he can't. He takes a vacation to Coast City. Hal Jordan appears to John with a lantern ring. He says the Guardians have chosen him as Hal's backup. Hal gives John a ring and lantern. A vision of the Guardians and the oath of the lantern surrounds John. Hal explains his trainer Sinestro has turned and needs to be dealt with, so he leaves John to defend Earth. Hal says goodbye to his love, Carol Ferris. As Hal leaves the solar system, a pink asteroid crashes into Ferris air. John rushes with his ring to extinguish the flames. As Carol helps others escape, she sees a pink ring just like a lantern. John uses his powers to stop crime in Coast City. He learns to use his ring quicker than Hal did. Meanwhile, Carol's ring starts to corrode her mind. She becomes obsessed over her love for Hal. She sees news of a lantern on Earth, but it's not her lantern. He must be stopped. She attacks. Her ring doesn't use willpower, but love. Obsessive love. Carol almost destroys her home city. She leaves Ferris Air in ruins as John stops her. Argus arrests Carol Ferris and her star Sapphire, alter ego. Amanda Waller asks John to join Argus and not the Justice League.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, main characters for this, we would have Hal in, but just for a little bit. We would be bringing in Carol Ferris again, as introduced in our first Green Lantern movie. So our new character would be John Stewart, essentially.
Yeah. Who we agreed was going to be Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
And then we talked about both of our castings for Carol Ferris, but we wanted to stick with yours for Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is such a great story to revamp after the 9/11 era. John Stewart having been a soldier, we kind of get the honor of the soldiers. That was kind of
trying to honor our military, our servicemen.
That was a little bit of a pop culture moment at the time.
Yeah.
I think that would work really well. I love John Stewart. We've talked about how fantastic he is as a character. We chose Jamie Foxx, who I think is great, right? So I think that it's going to work well. He probably would have been serving in like the Afghan War. That's probably where his like PTSD and trauma would have come from. And then Star Sapphire's had so many alternate versions in the comics that kind of just letting her go deranged, I think was the simplest way to try and flesh out this character on screen.
Like, I love the fact of like her lantern ring, like, because it's kind of found, not really given to her, like something with that kind of corrupts her a little or makes her go a little manic.
Yeah. But leaving Coast City, I think that I'll jump into our next movie.
Go for it.
So our next movie is going to be the next big heroes. So this one would just be called Green Arrow and Black Canary.
Ooh.
Set and released for 2004. Oliver Queen, owner of Queen Industries, announces he will run for mayor of Star City to combat President Luthor's anti-metahuman legislation. Oliver Queen runs on pro-meta politics. The city's DA, Diana Laurel Lance, supports his candidacy. What most citizens don't know is by night these two fight crime as Green Arrow and Black Canary. While taking down a drug trade, the couple find out a bounty has been placed on Oliver Queen. Soon bounty hunters come to Star City to take down mayoral candidate. First, Lady Shiva takes her chance and poisons Black Canary, weakening her scream. But together, her and Arrow are able to stop her. Then Merlin, a deadly archer, takes a shot at Oliver, injuring the Emerald Archer. While Oliver has been injured, Black Canary goes to find her mother, who was the original Black Canary, her best friend Wildcat, and asks him for help. He comes to help and brings with him a young protege, Roy Harper, who has a knack for archery. Wildcat and Roy take down Merlin as Oliver heals, but a final assassin comes for Oliver, Deathstroke. Wildcat is too old for another fight, so Roy, as now Red Arrow, joins Black Canary and Green Arrow to fight the deadly assassin. In the heat of the final battle, Deathstroke just stops. The bounty has been canceled. As Deathstroke leaves Star City, he gets a call from President Luthor with a payment for his time.
Oh.
Anybody that watched the show will know Green Arrow is a fantastic character. Yeah. I love them so much. So our new characters are going to be pretty much everyone, but we have our Oliver Queen Green Lantern, who we talked about that Billy Crudup would be, I hope that's how you say his name, would make a fantastic Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
He can be funny, but he can also be serious. And then for Diana Lance, our Black Canary, we talked about Gillian Anderson.
Yep.
Huge off of X-Files at this time. I think she'd be great. I've loved her in a lot of her more recent things. Then Lady Shiva. We only had one name come to mind, but we really talked about Lucy Liu, that she would just be so fun to see.
I think she'd be fantastic.
So, seeing her in this role, getting to play Lady Shiva, who's this, deadly assassin, kind of an equal to Black Canary, would be great. Roy Harper, we brought in Josh Hartnett, who a lot of people won't know, but he did a lot of movies around that 2000 era. Yeah. He recently did a movie that we both really liked, was Trap.
Yes.
Great actor. And then for Wildcat, we've kind of been secretly setting up the Justice Society, but we needed somebody that could match original Flash in age. So James Brolin, Josh Brolin's father, I think would be the best casting that we came up with. And then finally, we need Deathstroke. We need the world's deadliest assassin. And you said the name. We both knew it was right. But Ron Perlman needed to be Deathstroke. Perlman. So there's only one casting left.
Right.
And we need to figure out who Merlin is. The purple archer, the real arch nemesis, quote unquote, to Green Arrow. Travis, who did you cast?
Yeah, so my casting for Merlin was Thomas Jane. I know him primarily from the Punisher movie that would have been coming out just within like a year or two of like 2004 when this would have been set.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely would be able to match everyone else's energy, and then also just kind of bring the weight of like the villain role of Merlin.
Yeah, didn't he do? I want to say he did one of the Walking Deads or something. I feel like there's something else that he's done recently that I'm aware of. Yeah, I like that. I went for, because there's also Count Vertigo that's like another big villain. So I kind of thought, okay, what if Merlin is at least whatever European?
Oh, okay.
My casting ended up being Ian Grufford, who was Mr. Fantastic in the 2005 movie.
Oh, okay.
I just think he's a fantastic actor, and I would love to see him get to be a villain. So
that would be fun. Yeah.
That was my casting.
No, that's a good choice.
So Travis, we finally have gotten to the point where the studio would fix the movie. So can you give us what Superman would be?
Yes. So we would now be returning to Superman. Superman, hero of Kandor.
Woo!
Clark and Lois celebrate their anniversary, and Clark proposes. That night, a spaceship crashes into Metropolis. It contains another Kryptonian, Kara Zor-El, Clark's cousin. As he helps her acclimate to Earth, The Fortress alerts Clark to an alien ship entering Earth's orbit. Kara and Clark rush to the ship, a massive ship designed like a skull. Inside they meet Brainiac, who shares he collected the Kryptonian city of Kandor and caused the final seismic damage causing Krypton's destruction. Brainiac fights Superman, immobilizing the hero and knocking Kara back to Earth. As Brainiac's ship hovers over Metropolis, Lois and Jimmy follow military movement. Why would the military be leaving the city while it's under invasion? Brainiac tells Clark he wishes to watch him as he collects his new home. Kara returns to the ship now dressed as Supergirl and frees her cousin. President Luthor now arrives at LexCorp facility. Jimmy and Lois hot on his tail as the president enters a green battlesuit. As the supers fight Brainiac, the ship sensors go off as Lex has come to fight. The four fight, but Lex's battlesuit can't compete. He leaves the fight and orders a nuclear strike on the spaceship and Metropolis. Kara rushes to stop the nuke as Clark and Brainiac continue their fight. The ship is damaged enough to be warped off the cosmos. Kara saves Kandor City from the ship. She takes it to the fortress. The city's saved! Lois appears across every screen revealing the news. President Luthor ordered a strike on a U.S. city. Camera footage from the Luthor facility. Luthor is arrested by Amanda Waller with an immediate impeachment order incoming. Clark introduces Kara to Diana to spend time with the Amazonians. Then Clark proposes to Lois, who says yes.
Aww. This movie definitely had a lot to cover.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there.
Yeah, it couldn't be quite as simple. I really loved the idea of Kandor for the second and Brainiac. I think when I was working on this script, I wrote it like 7 times.
Yeah.
Because really, once it came into like, how would we feel about Superman so close to 9/11? What does that look like? What is the actual challenge? It became harder and harder, but I knew we also had to address corruption in politics.
Yes.
I know some people are going to think that this is commenting on current politics. I'm basing this off of where were the weapons of mass destruction drama that would have been starting to hit the news around this time.
Yeah.
Which is such a different level of corruption. And so that's where I think the getting rid of Lex would have been. And realistically, Lex needed to be out of office for what is coming down the line. Yeah. So I just want to address that. But I've always loved the city of Kandor lore. For anyone that doesn't know, it's just the city that Brainiac collects, and it keeps in these like glass
shrunk
jars.
and kept in like a tiny little jar.
Yeah. I really wanted to work in crypto along with this, but there was no way to really work in crypto without it feeling like too much.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
And as much as we love our this year 2025 Superman movie, I know that there was also a lot that happened, so I didn't want to risk doing that to a studio audience. So that being said, we only really have 2 new characters that we're bringing into this film. So we need our Kara, our Supergirl. Mm-hmm. We talked about like 3 or 4 names, but we landed on Drew Barrymore, who I do love. I think she's a fantastic actress. This would have been just after probably like the Charlie's Angels movies. Yep. And yeah, I think it would just be fun to see her taking on this role. But then we need our Brainiac. We need a computer android that can, conquer planets. So Travis, who did you cast?
So I went with Richard E. Grant.
Okay. Yes, fantastic actor, very serious, very intimidating.
Yeah.
He's done a lot more stuff recently, I feel like.
Oh yeah,
more in the last,
he's been doing
years.
a lot more like recognizable now than then, but he was acting then.
Yeah, fantastic actor. Okay. I like that.
And yours?
So I had one other casting that I'll bring up after, but my casting was Jason Isaacs.
I do really like that.
I love his voice. His range is so well done.
He plays a great villain.
Yes, he does. He can absorb all the camera space, even if he only takes up like an eighth of what is actually on screen. And I think that's what you need for Brainiac. That's why I really loved him. The other, my backup, if you will, was and now I'm going to space his name, but he's the Lord of Minas Tirith in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, John Noble.
John Noble, yeah.
Yeah,
John
that
Noble's,
would be another good option.
because he has actually voiced Brainiac in
I'm
one
not
of the animated
surprised,
movies.
really.
So fantastic voice, but I don't think his physicality would have been able to present as intimidating. That's the one thing where your casting of Richard Grant, he's quite tall. I believe he's over 6 foot. So
He's a
like that
tall
would be
dude.
intimidating. Jason Isaacs, I don't think is tall, but he can present himself as
He
intimidating.
has that energy.
Yeah. So fantastic. I love these movies. Our big one.
Yes.
So now we get to our second Justice League movie, Justice League, Legion of Doom. The Justice League welcomes Black Canary and Green Arrow as the newest members. Flash shares concerns on how quiet villains in Central City have been. Diana and Clark discuss how Bruce is no longer active. At Wayne Manor, Selina and Bruce are greeted by the Riddler and Scarecrow, who quickly gasses the couple with fear gas. The criminal duo enter the Batcave as Riddler prattles on about riddles of who Batman's true identity was. The Riddler then goes to the computer and attaches a LexCorp USB as Scarecrow searches the cave, finding a large yellow toxin container. The two leave the cave as the Batcomputer is hacked. Meanwhile, Aquaman boards a pirate vessel when Starfire attacks, wrapping him in a bubble and flying him away. Then we see Superman rushing into a fire in Metropolis. As he goes to save a citizen, it is revealed the citizen is Metallo, impelling him with kryptonite and leaving him surrounded by flames. Meanwhile, back at Wayne Manor, Bruce and Selina are in the Batcave. Bruce is searching his computers as they discuss the attack. Bruce realizes the yellow container is missing, and he calls the League. Selina leaves immediately in the Batwing. At the Hall of Justice, Canary, Arrow, and Diana tour the facility when Diana notices a package to her and she opens it. A cloud of smoke envelops her. As she looks around, Arrow and Canary are gone, but there are now 2 Felix Fausts that are in the room, and she attacks. Jon Stewart relaxes in a bar. A slow piano music plays as a redhead buys him a drink. He starts flashing back to war as he's consumed with fear. Zatanna, we see performing her stage show as an arrow from Merlin slices her skin. Her throat is numbed and she loses the ability to speak and to perform magic. Bruce reaches Arrow and Canary and explains the League is in danger. They say Diana has lost it and is attacking them. And then finally in Central City, we see the Flash rushing to stop Trickster as he is frozen by Mr. Freeze. But Martian Manhunter follows a criminal chase across town, and Black Manta douses him in a chemical fire. Manhunter rushes for a way to be extinguished by a flame that is not able to be stopped. Bruce explains to Canary and Arrow how to stop the nanites inside Diana that have twisted her to see only Felix Faust. Selina arrives in the Batwing to Central City and unfreezes Flash. She gives him an injection and says he must rush to Manhunter now. Batman finds Superman inside the burning building and pulls the kryptonite from him and rushes him from the scene. Hal arrives to Earth, finding out about all the chaos, and finds John. He talks him through his trauma and through the fear toxin. The Lanterns get Zatanna back to the Hall of Justice to apply a solution to solve the numbing agent that has stopped her voice. The League is gathered. Aquaman, though, is still missing. Batman explains he will be held in a chamber with no moisture removing his powers. They track him to the Legion of Doom, but as they leave, an alarm alerts them to an issue in Coastal City. Batman contacts Oracle, asking her to handle that. Lex and the villains are gathered in the Hall of Doom to celebrate. Lex shares the next phase of his plan to conquer the Earth and divide it between the villains, because there are no heroes to stop them. The League arrives and they fight the villains. They free Aquaman and get him back to water. The villains are finally stopped. As the League gathers to discuss the attack at the end, Batman explains to the League he built contingency plans for each of them and shares he plans to remain retired for his daughter. The heroes forgive, for the most part, him. Some do not. And that is where our final movie ends.
Yeah, and no special casting because all of these characters have already been cast previously.
Yeah, we just be bringing back everyone, all the villains, which I like in the Legion of Doom. Is you need kind of the big face off. Okay, we are about to finally end phase 2. We will be wrapping up the Burton-Verse with this movie. So Travis, what is our last movie?
Yes, our last movie, Titans. This would be coming out around 2005. In Coastal City, a spaceship crashes near Star Labs. An orange alien is taken away. While the League falls apart, Barbara Gordon, now going by Oracle, contacts Nightwing, explaining there is a situation in Coastal City and they need a team. With Raven, Nightwing gathers Supergirl, Red Arrow, Kid Flash, and Aqualad. They arrive in Coastal City. An android is attacking the city and is unstoppable. The android is called Amazo. As they fight it, Oracle realizes it's learning their fighting abilities. They go to Star Labs to speak with Tio Morrow, who is dead. As they explore the labs, they find the orange alien. She goes by Starfire and joins the team. They release a red android from Tio Morrow's lab who can create tornadoes. Together, they stop Amazo and decide to turn the destroyed Star Labs into their new base as Titans. From a nearby rooftop, Deathstroke watches the heroes and whispers, Phase 1 complete.
Ooh.
So this one, we would be bringing together the Teen Titans. So we'd be introducing our Starfire, and then we'd have Amazo and Red Tornado, because our Nightwing and our Raven, our Kid Flash, our Red Arrow, Supergirl, Aqualad, they have already been cast.
They all were set up earlier this phase. The phase of sidekicks, if you were.
Yes. So, Starfire, this one was kind of tough. We went back and forth with a lot of different names trying to figure out who would be a good Starfire around this time. We decided on Allison Hannigan.
Yeah, who I love. She was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, Buffy the Vampire
Slayer. Which would have been her big role before this, but then she goes on to do How I Met Your Mother, which is where a lot of other people know her. I always think that she's fun. And Starfire kind of has to be giggly and poppy, and I think Allison can pull that off really well. And then for our Red Tornado, we did agree together on Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, yeah.
And when you said that, I was like, yeah, that would be so good.
Right?
And then, our last casting is for Amazo. Travis, who did you cast as Amazo?
So, for Amazo, we discussed this name previously, and I was like, oh, I already have them cast for someone. Dolph Lundgren as Amazo.
Oh, okay.
This is who I chose.
Interesting. I went very similar. So, I'll explain for a lot of people that don't know. Amazo is a robot from the universe who is just unstoppable, absorbs everyone's powers, and just gains as he goes. So I chose The Rock.
Ooh,
because he would have only really done the Scorpion King, I think, at this point. So he would be very easy to get. No offense, Rock. I love you. Please don't hit me.
Dwayne, you are a magnificent person.
But yeah, I think The Rock in this role would be so good. But yeah, I think with that, we can wrap up the Burton-Verse and go to post.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us with the Burton-Verse. We will see you all in post.
Yeah.
Good. That's a wrap. Let's go to post.
Okay, so Travis, what are your final thoughts about our phases? What would come ahead? Anything like that?
This has been a lot of fun. It started out really fun, and then it turned into a lot of work.
Yes, it did.
Behind the scenes, we were definitely... I mean, it was fun rewriting the stories and revisiting like these time eras. I feel like whenever I see fan casts, it's for movies that would be casted and filmed now, versus we're filming or we're fan casting movies that would have been like 15, 20 years ago.
Yep.
Which definitely has its own set of challenges, but it was really fun, really enjoyable. It might friends, it might be a while before we do an undertaking such as this again.
We may spread out the work if we do.
Yes.
Yeah. My thoughts are, we discussed things that would come eventually later in a third phase. So like I wanted to bring in Hawkman and Hawkgirl. That would kind of set up more of the Justice Society movie and like what they had been. That'd be probably more similar to what we got of like Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, where maybe it was more set in previous. We had talked about a Swamp Thing movie that would have been kind of canceled, I think, around the 9/11 stuff.
Yeah. It just would have been too dark.
And I think seeing that move forward. And then finally we would have gotten to a Justice League Darkseid movie where we would have had the alien invasion, the full attack. I think I would have done something like a Justice League movie followed by another Titans movie, which would have been them facing Deathstroke, and then maybe Trigon in that same movie.
Ooh, yeah.
Trigon is Raven's demonic father, for those that don't know. And then I think in the same year we would have done Justice League Dark, which would have been Constantine and Zatanna, and maybe even Raven would have come into that one. Hawkman and Hawkgirl, I would have liked to have set up Dr. Fate by then.
Ooh, yeah.
So phase 3 was definitely going to get more into the magic. Other than that, I mean, there's not, I think, a ton. It was really fun. Like in our little notes here, clearly we had ideas for what to go ahead with. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of work working on this for over a month. And you guys hearing it over a month
of work. And for those of you who aren't aware, all of the characters that we have named throughout these past 4 episodes for this universe, they're all real characters. They all have comics and issues and cartoons surrounding them. So if any of these characters interested you, feel free to look into them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of shows where they've popped up in this point. There's a lot of things that can go
Or maybe
on.
there is a character that you want us to do maybe a more in-depth solo movie, maybe a modern take or a different kind of a take on one of these characters, by all means.
Yeah. Comment, let us know, and we'll look into it. Travis, anything you want to greenlight this week?
Yes. So for our listeners, for you guys, it's the end of November. We are filming this on Halloween, but I am thinking ahead.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, with it being close to the holidays, what's still kind of Batman, maybe watch Batman Returns. It's a Christmas movie. Otherwise, my other option would be Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving. Nice. Just, it's one of those ones I always try to watch every Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would suggest my movie is the Justice League Doom animated movie.
That is a really good one.
It's a great movie. It is very similar to the Justice League movie that I wrote down.
For our Phase 1 Justice League movie,
the one that we just had, the Phase 2.
That's right.
Yeah, because Doom is where it has similar Batman's contingencies. So it is canonically a thing.
Right, okay. I was thinking of Justice League War for some reason.
Yeah, so just a little bit similar. And then the other one I really love, I obviously am obsessed with Batman the Animated Series, but the movie Mask of Phantasm.
Oh, so good.
It's one of the legendary ones. I think it's, again, one that's won a couple awards.
Yeah.
So Mask of Phantasm, if you haven't seen it, totally worth it. But yeah.
Well, got a movie pitch of your own? Love these movies or think we could have cast better? Or have a question for us? Message or tag us on Blusky, Instagram, TikTok at Greenlight This Pod. We may feature it in a future episode.
Go ahead and give us a follow on Letterbox, where we post movie reviews, and our watch list might hold hints for what's in production. And if you enjoyed this production, leave us a 5-star review and subscribe so you don't miss the next premiere. Let's drop next week's trailer and credits roll.
Next week, listeners, we enter the season of Holly and Jolly. Follow us as Squiddy and I each pitch a movie sharing the reason for their Christmas season. What topics will we share? Who will we cast? Find out next Tuesday. Greenlight This is self-produced, written and directed by Landon Davis and Travis Medore. Sound department, Travis Medore. Casting? Us. And hopefully one day, Billy Crudup? Huh? Music, Buccaneer by Zenial from freemusicarchive.org. Special thanks, you, our listeners, the real studio heads who greenlight every episode just by pressing play. This has been Greenlight This. Until next time.
Do 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 do.